getting into that core issue, has Matthew Tkachuk ran out of time in Calgary? Like, from what I'm getting, it doesn't look like the fans like him anymore. Media doesn't like him anymore. And, there's those rumblings that the team doesn't even like him anymore. And when you're an agitator and you're not helping your team, you're infinitely hurting them in every regard.
I said this at the start of the year, actually. I said the Flames, their biggest concern is going to be Ottawa has a reason to play them. Ottawa doesn't have a reason to play any other team, but because there's the two brothers, there's going to always be that rivalry. And then when the Flames play any team, like the Jets or the Canucks, where it is a rivalry, but not as big as the Flames Oilers, there's a reason to play. Players don't like Tkachuk. Even Toronto, we saw Muzzin flick the puck at him after. You can tell players just don't like him. And when you really don't like a guy and he's going out there and doing questionable things, you're going to play harder. You're going to want to win. You're going to want to beat that team. You're going to want to beat that guy. So if the team's lost their confidence in him, then it's time to go. If they haven't, then you got to keep him for the skill he has. But you might want to tell him behind the scenes, hey, tone it down. Tone it down.
I think that's a big issue, though. The Flames already, especially when Jeff Ward was near the end of his coaching career, was definitely like, hey, you can't continue to do that. That's not working. And Tkachuk went on a big drought during that time. He was statistically awful. So that's something to consider.
Even when he does it, though, he's pretty useless. Like, how many times does he hurt the play trying to get up to his antics? What was that one recently where the stick didn't hit him? Or his own stick hit his face and he dived at the blue line rather than trying to stop the play?
So that was Mark Scheifele. He, instead of trying to come back on a 2-on-1, which he had a step on Scheifele, he initiated contact and flopped, gave up a 2-on-1, which went in the net.
Yeah, and then recently he just, got the puck on an empty net and rather than passing it, tried to do a big fancy deke, lost it and fell, and they scored on the empty net. Like, to be honest, his skating is pretty terrible. He's got great hockey IQ and, hands, but I think he's just so wrapped up in the agitator role. You look at Brad Marchand, he's the biggest agitator in the league, but 10 times out of 10, if there's a play to be made, he will make that play first. He will put that puck in the net, and he's an excellent skater. I don't know if Tkachuk has that to his game.
So does Tkachuk need to fix it, or should the Flames just look on getting rid of Tkachuk and moving on?
Well, I think we all agree he needs to fix it, but my question is, can he fix it in Calgary? A lot of guys don't. Zach Kassian didn't fix his issues in Buffalo or Vancouver.
Or Montreal.
Or Montreal.
Was he there for long? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think you got to set the timeline, and it all depends on what you're doing with the core. Because if Tree Living's idea right now is I'm keeping the core, then you have time to work on it. If you're trading Johnny and Monty, you're going to have to make sure that Tkachuk's ready to play and is going to be there and tone it down a bit and be good. I'm going to compare him to Domi a little bit. Domi in Arizona, he focused on just getting the puck in the net and playing hockey. And he was great. And he even did that a bit in Montreal. And then you saw that switch where he wanted to be the tough guy. He was trying to fight everyone every play. And that's what we're seeing now. And look at his stats. They've completely fallen off. Ty Domi even said, don't play like I played. You're better than me. Play to get points. There's always going to be a guy you can sign who can fight people. And that's what I think Tkachuk needs. He just needs to play his game, score. Nothing makes the enemy or the other team more upset than losing and letting in goals. If you're in the box and they're on the power play, especially in the Canadian division where there's really good power plays, you're just punishing your own team. You're not punishing the other team. And they're going to like it. And they're going to send some third liner out against you to make you upset and make you do something stupid. Because we know he will always lose his head. He can never keep it calm.
No, you're absolutely right. Think about it this year. When you look at the Flames last year in the Battle of Alberta, think about how heated that was getting between Tkachuk and Kassian and all the Flames fans and Oilers fans. It was getting very intense, right? But now teams have figured out, hey, if we just don't respond, we'll just dominate them otherwise.
Or even in that example, who wins if Kassian's in the box for 5 minutes and Tkachuk's in the box for 5 minutes? The Oilers. They still have Draisaitl and McDavid out there. Even if it's 4-on-4, even if it's 5-on-5, they win that scenario. They win that trade every time.
it works when you're a winning team. You know, that year when Calgary was undefeatable and Tkachuk was doing that, everyone's like, oh my god, this pest, this great agitator, he's getting on our team's skin, he's so aggravating. But now when the Flames are losing, you're just like, what is this clown doing? Like, it's embarrassing to watch for the team. Half the other guys don't even look like they want to play anymore. You know, so I wonder if there's a locker room problem. Oh, James, do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. I'm actually agreeing with you because I was just gonna say that I don't know how many times, you know, this season I've watched the game and we're down 1 goal in the third period. There's 5 minutes left to go. And what does Mangiapane or Tkachuk or Lucic do? They take a dumb freaking penalty. Like, so
Every
many
time.
times. And they're down. Like, it's so frustrating to watch, man. Like, so many times.
It's
back
not
to James's point, actually. Sorry, Connor. With the Sabres, when we were talking about the Sabres and their struggle, you know, under Ralph Kruger, like, they didn't want to play. When we fired Ralph Kruger and we brought in Don Granato, who's our interim coach, like, they look like a new team. And even though, like, the Sabres are still losing a decent amount of games, we're winning a lot, and all our young guys are fired up. Everyone looks like they're having fun playing. How many coaches have the Flames fired and they don't get motivated? You know, you fire Bob Hartley because, oh, he's too hard on Gaudreau. When has Gaudreau ever looked motivated since then? Right? How many times do you have to fire a coach until you realize maybe this team just can't get motivated with these guys in the dressing room?